Kathleen from the Bay St. Louis Library, and welcome to Storytime. This week we're going to be talking about fairy tales. Fairy tales are also called folk tales, and usually nobody knows who wrote them, and they've been passed down for years and years. Examples of them are Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Goldilocks and the Three Bears. A lot of times they have magical animals, magical people, princesses, sometimes fairies, and faraway lands. They usually start with once upon a time, and they end with they all lived happily ever after. So we're going to read some fun books on fairy tales today. We've got a great craft for you and some activity sheets. You'll be able to pick up your crafts and activities at any Hancock County library. Just give us a call first and we'll have one ready for you. I'm going to show you how to say fairy in sign language, and we're going to wrap up with Tutita from Excel by 5. Are you ready for a story? Okay, here is how to say fairy in sign language. You hold your hands up like little wings above your shoulders, and you just go like this. That's fairy in sign language. Okay, this cute little board book is called Cinderella. It is by Chloe Perkins, illustrated by Sandra Aquija, and has fabulous pictures in it, and it's just a delightful little portrayal of the Cinderella story, Rags to Riches. Oh, but her stepmother was cruel. She made the girl sweep the floors and clean the fireplace like a servant. Each day the girl became filthier from all her chores. Because she was always covered in dust from the floors and cinders from the fireplace, her wicked stepsisters named her Cinderella. So a cinder is like ashes from the fireplace. She doesn't look very happy. One day while Cinderella was scrubbing the walls, there was a knock at the door. It was the king's messenger. Cinderella listened in on the conversation. The messenger said, "There will be a grand ball at the palace. All the ladies of the kingdom are invited." Cinderella's stepmother went straight to the marketplace and bought the most beautiful fabrics and ribbons and jewels that she could find. "Here, Cinderella," she said when she returned. "Now you will sew us 3 fabulous dresses to wear to the ball." Oh, man. Cinderella spent all day and all night sewing the dresses. Finally, as the sun began to rise, she was finished. She's exhausted. Her stepsisters marveled at their beautiful gowns. Cinderella wished she could go to the ball with them, but she knew her stepmother would never allow it. So she got back to her chores. Look at them. They're all being sassy in front of the mirror there. That night, Cinderella bid farewell to her stepmother and stepsisters as they left for the ball. When they had disappeared from view, poor Cinderella fell down in tears. Suddenly she heard a voice. "My dear, what's all this crying?" Cinderella wiped her eyes and saw a kind-looking woman who seemed to be floating. She was shining and sparkling and holding a wand. Who are you?" Cinderella asked. "Why, I am your fairy godmother," said the woman. "Tell me what you wish for, dear." "I wish to go to the ball," replied Cinderella. The fairy godmother smiled. With a few flicks of her wand, things around them suddenly began to shine and sparkle too. Poof! A pumpkin became a beautiful carriage. Poof! 3 mice became horses. Poof! The old farm dog became a handsome coachman. Finally, poof! Cinderella's tattered dress became a magnificent ball gown, and her old shoes became delicate slippers made of glass. As Cinderella stepped into the carriage, her fairy godmother said, "This magic will wear off at midnight. You must return before then," and off the carriage went. When Cinderella arrived at the palace, everyone thought she was a beautiful princess from a faraway land. They all wanted to talk and dine and dance with her. Even Cinderella's own stepsisters. but it was the charming prince of the kingdom who asked her for a dance. Cinderella and the prince danced for hours. "Please tell me your name," said the prince. But just as Cinderella was about to answer, the clock struck midnight. The spell would soon be broken. Without another word, Cinderella hurried away, accidentally leaving one of her glass slippers behind on the palace steps. She raced home. As the spell wore off, her beautiful gown turned back into rags. The next day, Cinderella's stepsisters told her all about the ball and the mysterious princess who had captured the prince's attention. They were jealous of this mystery girl. Suddenly, there was once again a knock at the door, and once again the king's messenger was there. But this time he was with the prince. The prince was searching for the young woman he'd danced with. He was determined that each lady in the kingdom would try on the glass slipper until he found its owner. Both of Cinderella's stepsisters tried on the shoe. It was teeny tiny on the first stepsister's foot. She's got a giant foot. And it was way too big on the other stepsister's foot. She got little tiny feet. Then Cinderella came into the room. The stepsisters thought it would be funny to have her try on the glass slipper. After all, it would never fit Cinderella. "Try it, Cinderella," they encouraged, and they were laughing. But when the prince slipped the shoe onto Cinderella's foot, it was a perfect fit. The prince recognized her instantly, even without her beautiful ball gown and sparkling jewels. Cinderella's true beauty shined through. Cinderella and the prince embraced, gave each other a hug, overjoyed that they had found each other. Then in the castle where they had met, Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after. This is another very famous fairy tale. It was originally written by Hans Christian Andersen. This one is written by Nicholas Wu and illustrated by Tracy Grimwood. And this is about a princess trying to find out if she's really a princess. Once upon a time, there was a prince who wanted to marry a princess. He met many princesses, but he was never sure they were real princesses. The prince was very sad. He wanted to meet a real princess. One night, during a fierce storm, there was a knock at the palace door. The king found a girl standing in the rain. Her clothes were wet. Water was dripping from her hair. She needed a warm place to sleep. "Will you help a princess in need?" she asked. "I promise I am a real princess." "We'll soon find out," said the queen. She went to the bedroom where the girl would sleep. She placed a single pea on the bed. Only a real princess would notice it. Then she piled 20 mattresses on top. Look how tall that is. And there's a tiny pea under there. In the morning, the queen asked the girl, "Did you sleep well?" "Sadly, I did not," said the girl. "I felt something hard in my bed." The queen smiled. She had felt the pea through 20 mattresses. The prince had found a real princess. In time, they were married, and they lived happily ever after. I've got another book I'm not going to read to you, just give it a shout out. This is another version of The Princess and the Pea called La Princesa and the Pea. This is by Susan Middleton Elia and Juana Martinez Neal. And this is another version of The Princess and the Pea that has a few twists and turns. You might want to come check it out. All right, this one is called The Little Red Hen. It is a Russian folk tale or fable. A fable has a moral to the story. It tells a lesson in the story. This one is really famous, and it is about a really hardworking hen and all of her lazy roommates. So let's see what happens. It is by Karen Schmidt. One morning the little red hen was pecking in the barnyard when she came across some grains of wheat. How nice it would be to plant the grains and grow some wheat and bake some bread. So the little red hen gathered up the grains of wheat and said, "Who will help me plant this wheat?" "Not I," quacked the duck. "Not I," meowed the cat. "Not I," grunted the pig. So the little red hen planted the grains of wheat all by herself. With the help of the sun and the rain, the wheat grew and grew until it was tall and golden. "Who will help me cut the wheat?" asked the little red hen. "Not I," quacked the duck. "Not I," meowed the cat. "Not I," grunted the pig. So the little red hen cut the wheat all by herself. "Who will help me take the wheat to the mill to be ground into flour?" asked the little red hen. "Not I," quacked the duck. "Not I," meowed the cat. "Not I," grunted the pig. So the little red hen carried the wheat to the mill all by herself. When the little red hen returned from the mill with a stack of flour, she asked, "Who will help me bake some bread?" "Not I," quacked the duck. "Not I," meowed the cat. "Not I," grunted the pig. So the little red hen kneaded the flour into dough all by herself. Before long she had baked a warm and tasty loaf of bread. "Now who will help me eat the bread?" called the little red hen. "I will," quacked the duck. "I will," meowed the cat. "I will," grunted the pig. "Oh, no, you won't," said the little red hen. "I planted the wheat. I cut the wheat. I took it to the mill to be ground into flour, and I baked this bread without any help from the three of you." So the moral to the story is you gotta help. This book is called Who Is It? It is written by Sally Grindley, illustrated by Rosalind Beardshaw, and it has a lot of different fairy tale characters and puzzles in here where you can try to figure out which character they are talking about. Let's see if we can solve these. Someone's eating Mr. Bear's porridge. That's a hint. Someone's sitting in Mrs. Bear's chair. Someone's sleeping in Baby Bear's bed. Who is it? Any ideas? It's Goldilocks. Wake up, Goldilocks. The bears are after you. Uh-oh. Here's another one. Someone's going into Grandma's cottage. Someone's eating Grandma up. Uh-oh. Someone's wearing Grandma's night clothes. Who is it? It's the wolf. Look out, Little Red Riding Hood. Run. Someone's built a wooden house under a bridge. Someone hears a trip trapping over his head. I see, what is that? Does that look like goats maybe? Someone's feeling hungry and he's ready to pounce. Who is it? It's the troll. Run away, Billy Goat Scruff. Someone's climbing up a great big beanstalk. Ooh, we've got one of these in the kids' room in Bay St. Louis. Someone's going through a great big door. Someone's stealing the giant's enormous bag of gold. Who is it? It's Jack. And the giant's waked up. Get out of there fast, Jack. Uh-oh, someone's watching you read this book. Someone can't wait till you reach the last page. Someone's ready with a big surprise. Who is it? It's me, and I'm coming to get you now. That's pretty funny.
Skip to my loo, my darling. Flies in the buttermilk, shoo, fly, shoo.
Welcome to our fairy tale arts and crafts to go with our story time today. I've got tracing and coloring, I've got a maze for you, and we've got a make your very own fairy tale Mad Lib. You'll need your parents to help you with some of these things. And we talked about a lot of fairy tale characters today. This one's called I Spy Fairy Tale, and it has pictures of all these different characters with their names. And on the other side, you can count how many of each of them you can find. So it's a little seek game. Our wonderful craft for today is to make your very own magic wand out of a glitter pencil, some glitter glue. You've got a fun star eraser to go on the end, and you've got beads and sparkle ribbon or holographic ribbon. So when you start this, you're going to take your pencil and you're going to use the glitter glue around, go about 2/3 down and just kind of spiral it around the pencil. And you can put little dots and things like that. You'll need to get a parent to help you. And it's going to take about a day to dry. So you'll need to let it dry overnight, at least 12 hours, so you can poke it in a piece of styrofoam or cardboard or put some clothespins or something on it and set it aside until the glue dries. Once it's dried, you'll add the eraser on top, tie some little ribbons to it, and this is curling ribbon, so you can use some scissors or something and curl it and add some beads in a little knot to the very end, and you're going to have your very own magic wand. So that's a really fun craft. Takes a little longer than normal. Let me remind you how we say fairy in sign language. Remember, you put your hands up like wings and you just do this. So that's fairy in sign language. We thank you for joining us for our fairy tale story time and craft time. Hope you enjoy Tootie Ta at the end, and we will see you next week.
Knees